Welcome to the Underground, the Steel City Underground, the black and gold standard for Pittsburgh Steelers coverage. Now, here's your host, Joe Kuzma and Brian E. Roach.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to festive holiday edition of the Steel City Underground podcast. My name is Joe Kuzma, and joining me to my side with an equally flashy Christmas Steelers Christmas ugly sweater, Mr. Brian E. Roach. Brian, hey man, little later in the week, but we had some specific reasons for waiting this long to get on the horn, and one of those is a very happy Festivus to you, my friend. How's it going?
I got a lot of problems with some of you people, and I'm gonna tell you about them.
That's that's on here somewhere. Hold on, it does noises. Let's see what random thing we get. I don't know if that even picked up on the microphone.
I heard it.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if that ends up in there. Some of the 2%ers are actually checking this show out. No cheat sheet edition this week because, quite frankly, if you don't have NFL Network and you don't live in Pittsburgh to catch us on KDKA Channel 2, I have no clue if this is on NFL Plus. From all of my dealings with NFL Plus, I think you have to log into a TV provider. So don't go kvetching that you can't watch the Steelers game. We've warned you ahead of time, but it's available to everyone in the country, provided you have NFL Network or you live in the broadcast area of KDKA Channel 2 out of Pittsburgh, or have some other nefarious methods or whatever means of watching the game. So, yeah, Christmas Eve, find a bar that's actually open. Maybe you can find it there. Hot off the heels of Sunday Ticket getting purchased by the new contract going from DirecTV over to Google for YouTube TV. So I have YouTube TV already. Just hope they don't jack up the price of their base plans like DirecTV decided to do all this time. And then now to the actual game. For a very somber moment, Brian woke up the other morning to, like, am I reading what I'm reading? And it was it's one of those things. It's weird to put it in with, like, let's say 9/11 or one of those days. There's a couple of different mornings where you just wake up and something's not the same. And this one will sit with me for a long time because it's just before Christmas. And I slept in. I slept past my alarm and everything. My 9-year-old daughter gets out of bed on her own, gets ready for school on her own. We got to be on the bus in less than 10 minutes, not even. And she wakes me up, and I got to use the bathroom, everything else. I grab my phone real quick, and everything just stops. Everything just goes blank. And I see the news that Franco Harris passes away at age 72, just days before he's already been immortalized in Steelers lore, but officially have his jersey retired. Big celebration for Christmas Eve night, 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception being celebrated at might be Three Rivers Stadium this week, based on some of the things that we've seen already with the celebrations. Some of the they painted the end zones gold to make it look like the old school stadium and everything else. So we can't even call it Heinz or Acrisure in this case. But Saturday night, hopefully the place will be rocking because it's going to be like 0 degrees as well. But yeah, very bittersweet, and it wasn't like, as far as my recollection, nothing that I know of him being in poor health or anything like that. Just did an interview. Guy was really geeked up, excited, just as everyone else, more so than anybody else, I would think. Who knows what other luminaries were going to show up and, speak his good graces and everything like that. And here we go. They're all lined up to still do the same, unfortunately, posthumously.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm sitting in my chair. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I go downstairs. I'm getting my gym clothes on. I'm getting ready to go to the gym, and I, for no good reason, put Twitter on my phone, and see all these people, basically saying can't be true, and I'm like, what is going on? Checked it out, found out the news, and yeah, it was a complete shock. I mean, I'll tell you, when Dan Rooney passed, it hit me pretty hard. For considering it's somebody I don't know and it's not, directly related to me, but it wasn't a shock. You knew Dan Rooney could go any day, right? He was an older guy, and he clearly was not in the best of health. But Franco, you just had no idea. It really was like, all right, you're 72. Certainly, there's always a chance, but the guy just seemed to be eternal, and you did not. It was not anticipated, and the timing, of course, couldn't have been worse. This has been, for you and me both, this has been a very rough end of the year.
Yeah.
And it just was like, wow, on top of all that. And Franco was my daughter's favorite player. She loved Franco. I was very worried how she was going to take it when I woke her up, but she took it basically pretty well. She remembered that she got to recite the play-by-play call of the Immaculate Reception in front of him, for him. He gave her a big hug, so she remembered the good stuff. So that's all good. But yeah, clearly, just unfortunate timing for, and unfortunate that a guy who seemed to be in pretty good health passed away. I mean, I have not, to be honest, I haven't looked, but I have not seen a cause published out.
And you probably won't either. Just a lot of times out of respect to him and the family.
Yeah, as you constantly inform me, I'm old, so it makes me think, man.
Come on, I joke only because you're older than me, but you're not that old. But you just never know when anyone's time's up. And I mean, it's 72 seems pretty young, and we both. I wasn't going to mention it, but of course, both heading into Christmas for the first time, each one of us without our fathers now, and my old man, 69, number of health problems, way it happens, man, you're never prepared. And that's why, whether, you have something personal like myself or Brian that hits you this holiday season, or the Franco news hits you, find your loved ones, hold them tight, keep some of these arguments and everything else. We joke, airing of grievances, right? Yes. Yeah. Leave that for today, this Christmas holiday, whatever seasons or holidays you may celebrate, because not everyone celebrates. I think everybody still celebrates Christmas in their own way, but it is a festive holiday season. Grab a loved one tight. Don't mean to get tear jerky or anything over here with anyone, but yeah, it's tough, and you've got a lot of statements, you've got a lot of tributes that are going on everywhere. Rich Eisen posted this. If you've ever been through the Pittsburgh airport and have seen a statue of Franco immortalizing the Immaculate Reception, and there it is with the Christmas tree right in the background. Lots of people leaving terrible towels and other paraphernalia. You also have. I believe, let me see if I've got the one that Brooke Pryor put up here. Yes, Brooke Pryor also from ESPN. She covers for ESPN, I believe, for the Steelers. Sorry, tripping over my words here, but also this is right outside of Acrisure Stadium, the monument for the Immaculate Reception. So this one as well, and who knows what it looks like at this point, because we're already like almost 2 days from when this particular photo was taken. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers as well, Art Rooney II, had this statement. It is difficult to find the appropriate words to describe Franco Harris's impact on the Pittsburgh Steelers, his teammates, the city of Pittsburgh, and Steelers Nation from his rookie season, which included the Immaculate Reception, through the next 50 years. Franco brought joy to people on and off the field. He never stopped giving back in so many ways. He touched so many, and he was loved by so many. Our thoughts and prayers are with his wife, Dana, his son, Doc, and his extended family at this difficult time. And can't say it any better, so just to take the words from Art Rooney. And that's going to carry over into what already was a pretty big set of weekend plans here for the Steelers. They were already live tweeting the game and doing a lot of things in the Great Hall even today, even with the nasty weather. One of those, if you're watching this on YouTube, pulling this right up, this is straight out of an old, this probably looks better than the technology they may have had in 1972, but it's meant to look, old school, old timey with just the little light bulbs in the scoreboard. Welcome to Pittsburgh in the first game of the 1972 AFC playoffs. And despite the Steelers losing to the Dolphins that year, the perfect season Dolphins still lives in lore as a turning point, maybe the turning point for the entire franchise over the last 50 years. Kind of hard to even think that the Steelers would be in any position to do anything other than to beat the Las Vegas Raiders' ass on Saturday night. Do you need any more inspiration or any more fire up underneath you in order to go out there, regardless of the wind chill, the temperatures? Maybe this could be the coldest game in this stadium's history Saturday night. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to get there is one thing, let alone sit through this entire thing. But Brian, can you picture any other outcome for this game? I don't see any other way of this going outside of the Steelers' way.
I think, to be fair, I think even the Raiders will be upset if they were to win this game. Look, there's going to be so much emotion in the stadium. There's going to be so much emotion in the locker room. Again, I don't want to keep harping on this too much, but Franco was an ambassador, and every team up until this point has had him approach team members. He's talked to Najee. I'm sure he's talked to Kenny. He's had interactions with these guys, and he has an impact. He just does. Anybody who's met him, and I've met him several times, will tell you he has an impact on you. I have to bring this up because it was so inappropriate. A guy tweeted, "Franco is a fraud." And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Oh, this was before the news.
Yeah, because it would be very insensitive after the fact, but before that.
And then Alex Highsmith's dad, Sam Highsmith, was like, watch your words. And it's because that was after. Now, this is after everything. But I saw that and I'm like, have you ever met Franco? Because if you had, you would never, ever, begin to utter those statements. The man was the most genuine, kind-hearted, just with you in that moment kind of guy. He had Dan Rooney in him, and Dan Rooney had him in him. They same cloth. And so to bring this back around to what you're saying, no, I cannot imagine a scenario coming out of Christmas Eve where the Steelers do not win this game. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen, obviously, but what a bittersweet pill that would be. The problem is you just can't ever tell how these kind of things are going to impact folks. I don't know how it's going to impact people in the team. I don't know how it's going to impact Tomlin. Do I think they're going to be all business? Sure, I do. Do I think they have added incentive to win this game? Of course they do. Do I think the fans that are going to be in the stadium, how many ever there are that brave the elements? I will not be one of them officially. Decided it was not worth the 5.5-hour drive on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, possibly one of the worst roads to drive on in the entire universe, in ice and snow. I was like, no, forget it.
You just get trapped in Breezewood. No big deal.
Exactly. Not doing it. Hell with it. So I'm not going, but it's going to be an emotional stadium and it's going to be an emotional night. And hopefully it ends the way that it should.
Yeah, and I hear you. And I didn't want to take away from all of the Franco announcements, but I need to mention that the Steel City Underground podcast, once again, brought to you by Manscaped. We're right at the end here of the holiday season. Manscaped is the best, and you've got it right there. I was tripping over my words to find the actual read here. It's the best in men's below the waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Brian just had the performance package for the ultimate men's hygiene bundle there. And yeah, that's kind of gross to be doing that right on the air. It is an awesome.
Hey,
I was already doing that
better
beforehand.
than taking this one out and using it where it's supposed to be used.
Hey, just wait. Just wait. They've got an announcement coming for some new product after the first of the year. So, but before you get to that, there is a last chance sale. More than likely, based on the elements, you're not going to get it there before Christmas. But hey, right after, I'm still seeing some folks in between the holidays and New Year's and stuff like that. Head on over to the website. 20% off the entire website, and free shipping is going on right now until December 29th. The right tools for the job. And Brian was showing you some of these neat things here. Always fun with Manscaped. They're here to help you sling your beautiful balls all season long, Brian. So maybe even through the season, maybe even through the Super Bowl, they'll have your weapon.
Really?
They'll have your weapon looking more.
That's the tagline they gave you for the holidays?
Well, that's not just for the holidays. That was all season long, brother. But their state-of-the-art tech will have your weapon looking more loaded than a Matt Canada offense, which isn't too difficult to do, to be honest.
That is not the best.
But we're still talking about pro football here, so this isn't.
Throw it out there as an Andy Reid offense. Then that's a high potency weapon there.
That's actually what it says. It says the AFC West, but we're not covering the AFC West, so I thought it'd be fun. Football may be rough, but your ball care doesn't have to be with Manscaped, so head on over to manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping. Pittsburgh Steelers, just to go through some of the series notes here. This is some of the stuff I usually do on the other show, but since we're in an abbreviated kind of mishmash here with the holidays and Festivus, Raiders lead this series all time 17-13. So they won last season back in September 19th. Steelers are 8-6 at home. They lead that. Raiders lead, unsurprisingly, 11-5 or over wherever the hell they play. Now they're in the Death Star that's in Las Vegas. They're tied 3-3 in the playoffs. They haven't played in the postseason since 1984. Raiders have won each of the last 2 games that these teams have played head-to-head. Mike Tomlin, the head of the Pittsburgh Steelers, won 60-93-2, 16 seasons in the NFL as a head coach, all of them with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is 2-5 against the Raiders lifetime. Josh McDaniels is 6-8 in his first season with the Raiders, 17-25 as a 3-year NFL head coach, 2 with the Denver Broncos prior, and this will be his first time as a Raiders head facing the Steelers. He is 0-1 against Pittsburgh from his previous tenure with the Denver Broncos. Again, this is a home game for the Steelers. 8:15 is the kickoff in Pittsburgh. NFL Network, NFL Plus possibly, KDKA Channel 2 in Pittsburgh for those of you that are local. Rich Eisen along with Kurt Warner. Allison Williams and Steve Weiss are your sideline reporters. If you want to listen to this on satellite radio, catch the Steelers feed on Sirius 85, XM 225, 826 on the internet. There is a national feed on 88 across the Sirius XM NFL Radio's flagship station there. The Raiders are on 81, 226, and 816. That'll be more than likely a Westwood One call with Mike Watts and Ross Tucker, who seems to just be everywhere. If you turn on a radio, Ross Tucker does like 3 games a week or something, man. He is just straight whoring up for that color commentary dollar. Steelers Radio Network, of course, play-by-play with Bill Hillgrove and Craig Wolfley, Missy Matthews, and Max Starks on the sidelines. Trey Blake is your referee for this game. So I don't have anything to say about Trey Blake. Sometimes I feel like Trey Blake's crew is the ones that they take 2 minutes every now and then, but it's still not as bad as what I wanted to say Brad Rogers or Clete Blakeman. They look completely lost in space out there. So can we just broadly say that the refs stink? Yeah, they still stink. We know they stink, so it doesn't matter. They stink. It really doesn't matter whichever ones that you end up getting. Kind of digging into, let's see, some of the I wanted to catch the over under and some of the other numbers for this game for those of you who might be betting on it. It's 38.5. Should have took the money last week, man. Would have just covered. We'll see what Zaccadonia does. Steelers are -2.5 at home. Let's see here. Comparatively, Las Vegas is 10th in points scored. They are 23 in points allowed. Steelers are 27th and 13th likewise. And pass and rush wise, the Raiders are 13th in both categories, where the Steelers are 24th and 18th. Defensively, against the pass, Raiders are 26th, 15th against the run, almost even Steven with the Steelers being 24th against the pass and 7th against the run. We're talking about an average of 117 run yards given up versus 109. So very little in between there, and 244 versus 238 on average. So defensively, they both appear to be about in the same category when you're matching them up head to head. Of course, Alex Highsmith leads the Steelers with 11 sacks. Maybe a snub, alternate on the Pro Bowl.
Maybe a snub.
No, I'm a big stand for him. I'm a big stand for him. Well, he should have been over pretty much anyone but Myles Garrett, and he's only like a number or two off of many of Myles Garrett's metrics.
Yeah. Yes, there's really literally no excuse for them not to have made him a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though.
I love TJ. I love TJ. TJ doesn't deserve to be on the Pro Bowl team this year. Just doesn't.
I agree.
I'm sorry. But Alex Highsmith does.
Minka does too.
Yeah, so does Minka.
Nobody else, in my estimation. Maybe Cam. Yeah.
Cam.
And Cam was still an alternate, but Minka and TJ were the only two that outright make it on the team there. Max Crosby, 11.5 sacks, so he's a half sack over Alex Highsmith. Of course, Minka leads the team with 4 picks. Deron Harmon with 2 for the Raiders. And that's about the only other things we really need to get into is Steelers defense. Since we're already there against Raiders offense. Derek Carr, he's got about 3,350 yards passing on the season, 23 touchdowns, so 11 interceptions for an 89.2 rating. Josh Jacobs has been potent. He's almost at 1,500 yards for the season. He is multidimensional. He could also catch out of the background, though they have a few other guys that they will put into the rotation for pass protection and also for that little release. And Devontae Adams, who got traded there from the Green Bay Packers in the offseason, 1,275 yards on 86 catches. That's 14.8 per reception with 12 touchdowns. And they're all beasts because I have Jacobs and Adams throughout my season-long fantasy. So it's very tough because now we're in the playoffs, and I don't want to root for them to do well against the Steelers. And it would be tough to see what dynamic you get. We don't have the biggest amount of respect for Derek Carr. This team has been very bipolar. They've been turning on a little more as of late, just like the Steelers have been. And you got to think that with the weather, is Carr going to be throwing a frozen rock out there the same way Kenny Pickett should be cleared? It sounds like they held him out like one extra week just for precautions. But I'm looking at this as this needs to be a pass rush day for the Pittsburgh Steelers with TJ and Alex Highsmith getting to Carr and putting some pressure on him. Or stop the run.
Yes.
They should be able to bottle up the run. It's been bipolar, too, with the Steelers because they allow some running. But the Falcons and the Panthers, and really the Ravens did some of their thing, and that's what they primarily do.
Ran all over.
Yeah, so it's tough to say which Steelers defense you're going to get, but I'm hedging more towards the Raiders aren't primarily the run team. They're going to try and set that up with Adams, but what if they can't? What if Jacobs only gets 25 yards this week,
I think it is absolutely going to be critical that pass rush get home. And it doesn't necessarily mean they have to get sacks, but they have to get pressure. If Carr has time, Devontae Adams is going to be a problem for our secondary. Who's their tight end? He probably will be a problem for us regardless.
Well, Darren Waller, and he came off of IR. And just recently active. The Foster Moreau, he beat the Steelers up a little bit here. He's a decent number 2. He's not Waller when Waller's healthy. Obviously, when Waller's healthy, he's probably top 3, top 5 guy. But that's few and far between. The guy has had his injury issues throughout the seasons.
It's just going to be very, very critical that they get to Carr a couple times and then keep that pressure on so that he is not comfortable. Because if he gets comfortable, it's going to be a sad day.
Yeah. Some of the other guys, Mac Hollins, Hunter Renfrow. I think Hunter Renfrow in the slot, he's a very steady receiver. That's the one you got to be watching for, middle of the field type stuff, especially on like third downs. He's going to move the sticks, and he just recently just getting healthy as well. And then also in the backfield, besides Jacobs, you got Brandon Bolden, and then Amir Abdullah, who he's kind of like a cockroach in the NFL too, somehow still sticking around after all these years, and he finds a way, man. I don't understand that one, but I don't have a whole lot of, what do you want to say, respect I want to put on their offensive line, because I just feel like the Steelers should be able to exploit these guys, hopefully. Throughout this season, I was trying to see how many times Carr has been sacked so far. Only 24 times. So they're not giving up a whole lot on different dropbacks. He gets he gets rid of the ball as quick as possible, completing about 61.2% of his passes. He's not infallible. He's not a guy that won't turn the ball over. So,
no, he's not.
Yeah. I think they could pressure him. I think they could beat up some of the guys on their O-line. That's the way I feel.
I mean, this is absolutely a game they can win, and it really does depend on which Raiders team shows up. You know, is it the Raiders team that beats the Chiefs, or is it the Raiders team that, you know, loses to whoever they've lost to? You know, is it the Raiders team that gets lucky like they did last week against the Patriots and gets a miracle?
Chandler Jones, man.
Yeah, I know. Oof. It's, you know, they have been. I don't think they've really been beaten up this season to the sense where they've just gotten shellacked. They're in that sense, it's much like the Steelers, where they've been in games, been close, find ways to lose more so. So you just kind of got to hope that this is a dome team, a West Coast team that is essentially not used to playing in weather. And let's hope that has an impact on them, makes it a little more difficult for them to get going. And let's hope that happens a lot, what you're seeing right there. Number 90 is in his grill all day. Let's just hope that happens.
Yeah, it's the way I feel. They've had 3 different overtime games this year. They've won 2 of those 3. 2 of those against Denver Broncos and Seattle Seahawks. Of course, the Broncos, you can't place anything when they're division games, even if the teams in their division have played crappy, because they're division games. And those teams are always, they have like an intimate, it's kind of like you see them twice, you see each other twice a year, every year. And for the players who have still been around defensively, offensively, they're able to look and see, they remember film from maybe a previous year or something like that. And I understand they both have new staffs, but still there's tendencies and things that you see. It's a reason why certain stuff doesn't work. Like if the Steelers go and face the Ravens or the Bengals or something like that, you're not left guessing as much. I was watching even that Thursday night game with the Jaguars and the Jets, and they put in that CFL quarterback. And you want to talk about a fan base that went nuts. Zach Wilson, they're just booing him. It reminds me of Trubisky, ironically, against the Jets, and Kenny Pickett coming in. It was very much like that. And then they're just running the ball, and the Jags didn't have an answer for it right away because it's not something they're used to seeing. And those teams
who won that game? I wasn't paying attention.
Jacksonville. So Jacksonville, they may have eliminated the Steelers from this thing entirely, being in the hunt, because now they're sneaking into it. I was thinking the Steelers still have a couple teams that are ahead, in front of them, that are still on the schedule.
The Jags, I think, have to lose 2 out of 3. So if they won that game, they have to lose the rest of them, which is probably not going to happen.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. And the one reason that I say that I wouldn't necessarily say that, it's still Jacksonville, dude. And they got the Texans and Titans. And the Titans
Probably
now
not.
have Malik Willis, so maybe
probably,
I will.
Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, we need a Christmas miracle.
A Festivus miracle.
A Festivus miracle. It's a Festivus miracle.
I'll tell you what. If the Steelers make the playoffs, I will make a donation in your honor to the Human Fund.
Oh, okay. That sounds. They had with this. Well, did I not gift you one of these same ones that had the thing? It came with cards for the Human Fund.
I don't think I got that one.
Maybe not.
Maybe. I'm gonna have to get it because I need to be able to have the little noises.
Yeah. Well, I have the Okay, so as we know, the snowpocalypse is upon us, and even wearing this sweater and this hat, I am not cold right now, even within the confines of what is it officially right now? -1. It was -9 as the low, and it says it'll get up to 14. I'd like to know when, because we're already midway through the afternoon. I mean, the sun's going to fall here in about 2 hours. Is it going to warm up overnight? That doesn't seem to be the way science works.
Not usually.
I couldn't get out to the storage to get the I have the full Festivus pole. It's like
Yep,
4 or
I have
5
that as well.
the
Yep.
conduit, and I built that sucker, and I don't have it, and I feel very unfestive like. It was a great, height to weight ratio. But anyways, I digress. Flipping around the other side, Kenny Pickett. He's going to have a couple of pass rushers in his face. Actually, we should look at maybe the injury report real quick before getting too far into this, because
let's do so.
Yeah, because you know why? There's still practicing. Like the Tuesday was like more of a guess or something that they put on here, so it didn't look good for Terrell Edmonds. He landed on here with a hamstring. They still have game statuses listed here. Cam Hayward, Larry O, they're resting most of the week. This is still a short week because it is a Saturday game, so keep that in mind. Their practice is a little disjointed. Deontay Johnson had been limited. He's still questionable. Najee showed up with a hip. It was a full participant recently, as was Derek Watt. Miles Jack still questionable with the groin. Kenny hopefully will be out of concussion protocol here. We don't really care about Josh Jackson. Pat Freiermuth, full participant all the way through. J.C. Hassenauer had some personal business to attend to, and George Pickens had an illness. When you flip over to the Raiders side, let's see, Alex Bars, Jackson Barton, Andrew Billings is actually a guy who plays for them quite frequently, so that's one to keep an eye on. Yeah. Defensive tackle. A fibula, Brian. I don't know, like a lot of times I look at these reports and you see like
have a fibula,
toe, back. Fibula is like an actual bone. Like knee, you're probably talking
is
like
that a lower leg bone. I mean, let's have a little anatomy here. Where is the fibula located in your leg?
The fibula,
I think isn't that the anterior bone to the tibula, which is at the top of the leg? Like, isn't there two bones up there in the top, the tibula and the fibula?
Well, here it is. This is from Wikipedia.
Oh, damn it. It's in the bottom.
It's down there. Like, is it like a bone bruise? Like, I make fun of these reports quite frequently enough, but
did he lose it? Did like somebody come and grab it out of his leg and now he has to get a new fibula?
Yeah, there's like a rabid animal running around, like just gnawing on it somewhere.
I don't know.
So, anyways, Alex Bars though, and Jermaine Illuminor, and I'm trying to think of, let's see, Jackson Barton is actually a backup for Colton Miller, but if one of these other tackles can't go and then he's hurt, they're going to be down to like a fourth string tackle on this list. Darian Butler, linebacker. Let's see, Deron Harmon, but he came back as a full practice. Nobody's the only person that's really out is Rakyat Singh, corner, and then you also have Dylan Parham. They're beat up on the line, guard, and Zamir White. So they've got starters and reserve guys, which can definitely affect special teams play as well. So just something to keep an eye on. Steelers offense. Let's see if they can continue running the ball. It seems like they've been able to at least get 100 or so on the ground over the last few weeks. That is definitely would aid Kenny Pickett. They're going to be a little rusty. How's that going to look? It seems like they played very safe. They had that really long drive last week against the Panthers. I wouldn't necessarily think that that's going to be the norm for them either. So
you're not going to get 21 play drives.
No,
that's the norm. If you do, the game's going to last like 10 minutes.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that being Christmas Eve and having to be back for Christmas Day. If this sucker's over at 11, I'll be happy, but we know that's not going to be the case.
Not going to be the case.
And we'll see how many people are there. If it's only like 30-some thousand, that will definitely help with the flow and the travel and everything like that. It's going to be a very rough turnaround for yours truly. And you were looking at just celebrating entirely there, like Home Alone 2 style in the penthouse or something originally.
The penthouse.
Plaza Hotel or wherever it was.
I don't think we were. Like Town Place Suites. Plaza Hotel.
Well, those are like aren't those like the efficiency rooms though that have like maybe like a fridge, a microwave, maybe even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are nice. I like those. Yeah. I like having that type of stuff.
And when I travel with the whole fam, we get a 2-bedroom, so the daughter has her own bedroom, doesn't have to sleep on a pull-out couch. So, it's nice. That's
very, you spring an extra. That's the Christmas cheer you're spreading around.
It's just because I used to travel quite a bit back in the day, and I'm a Marriott super duper guy, and they cater to my every whim.
Well, that's always
Maybe
nice.
not. I got to bring this up, by the way, and this won't make any sense for the listeners, but your response to my Facebook post is incorrect. You're wrong. I'm just letting you know.
Wait, I even forgot what was going on with
It's,
that.
the number of people in the yard.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
You're wrong.
We got time for a riddle, real
The
quick.
answer is, well, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. But if I have to give the answer, then no, it doesn't matter in the comments.
Well, you know what? We'll
guess.
give it away on the next show. How about that?
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I gotta find it now because.
All right. Well, let me finish with we'll close out the show with trivia. Trivia. Yes. Trivia questions. Chandler Jones, Andrew Billings, Bilal Nichols, Max Crosby is your defensive front four for the Raiders. They are formidable. Clelin Ferrell is one of the backups there to Sean Bauer. Those are guys that could get after the quarterback. You have Luke Masterson, Denzel Perryman, who is a just do-it-all utility kind of inside middle linebacker type. And then, as I said, was it Darian Butler? Was he the one that was already out? I had said he was the one that was ruled out. So that'll be one guy down in their linebacking core. And, of course, the secondary, Nate Hobbs, Rocky Yassin, he's out. Trayvon Morig and Daron Harmon are the safeties. So, yeah, they're beat up. They have not had a good secondary this year. So the Steelers should be able to exploit this, and if they could get a little bit of time of possession with the ground game and balance this out so you don't have to rely just on Kenny, maybe get a lead if you can play with a lead. That was the biggest thing against the Baltimore Ravens was your game script completely changes. And anytime the Steelers have really been behind this year, they haven't been able to come from, even last year. I mean, Ben was able to do some stuff, but those weren't necessarily translating into victories.
He had more come from behind wins drives than anybody in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
So,
and they weren't all wins either. They didn't win every single one of those. Like the Vikings, for example, they didn't end up winning that one, but they made it. They made it almost look like the Vikings and Colts, just the last weekend. So, be interesting to see
what the hell was going on with Jeff Saturday and that team in wherever the hell they were. Were they in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Oh well, okay. Then
they kicked too many field goals. That's what was going on.
Sure, I can still excuse being up 33-0 at the half and losing just because you happen to be on the road.
No, you can't. You can't. That's historical all time. That's like the Fire Tomlin crowd would be out with the pitchforks and torches, even in this weather, for sure.
You need to switch to another day of the week at head coach. I think that's
he was the
bad.
first guy. NFL. You want to talk about low hanging fruit for the clickbait?
First Saturday on Saturday.
Yeah, the first guy named Saturday to coach a team on Saturday in NFL history, and it was like, well, they probably want to forget about that one now. But now they're going to like Nick Foles, who starts for like his 6th or 7th NFL team or something like that.
He's still playing? Oh my God.
I don't know where they actually where they drug him out from. And they're not going to go back to Sam Ehlinger. And you talk about a team that's like in utter disarray for looking for quarterbacks. That's just
I have a trainer that I get from the gym. This is not me hiring an ultra top of the line, elite Hollywood trainer. This is a free trainer that comes at Planet Fitness. Okay. That being said, the trainer at Planet Fitness, her husband is a Colts fan. And she tells me when she trains me, she's like, he doesn't care anymore. He just wants a draft pick.
Well, that was most of the folks that were there at Lucas Oil. And I told you, I think I might have told you this, or I was telling Flash this. I told this story, and I'll tell it real quick. But I have a friend that's a very good, a good friend that is a big Colts fan, and they were giving out actually stocking caps at the game, and they were on the table as I'm walking in for that Monday night game, and I'm like, oh, I'll grab one of these for Chris. I'm like, and I gave it back to him when I went back to town and saw everybody like a couple weeks ago, and he was very thankful about it. And then he posted about it, and he's like, nobody knows how big of a Colts fan I am. I really appreciate it. And then that game happened, and he goes, that's it. I'm done. I quit. I'm no longer a Colts fan. Somebody give me another team to be a fan of. And I think somebody in his family is actually a Bengals fan, right? And they were like, who dey? And that's who he jumped on. I was like, that bandwagon is about to tip over, dude. Like, they couldn't have any more people on the cart. It's the Oregon Trail. You're going to die of dysentery being on that thing. So just like, and I'm like, I hope you're not carrying this into next season. Of course, you're going to jump on a winning team's or at least a team that's in some position to look like they're going to do something in the postseason. I can't say that the Steelers are in that position by any means, and half the league, there's a lot of teams. And you look around the NFL, 6-8 doesn't look too bad. It's just like the log jam of it's the actual losses and who they've lost to that would adjust the tiebreakers, because you've got so many teams right now that are in the same boat. It's kind of mind blowing. I mean, you got Buffalo's 11-3, Miami's 8-6, New England's 7-7, the Jets are now 7-8, Cincinnati's 10-4. They've clinched a playoff spot already. Baltimore's 9-5, Cleveland and Pittsburgh both at 6-8. The Titans are 7-7, Jacksonville's 7-8. Okay, Indianapolis 4-9-1, Houston's 1-12-1 and easily the worst team in the league. Kansas City's 11-3. They've clinched their division and playoff spot, but the Chargers are 8-6, the Raiders are 6-8, the Broncos are 4-10. You've got the NFC East. Phillies 13-1, Cowboys 10-4, Giants are 8-5-1, Washington 7-6-1. Minnesota 11-3. They've clinched the spot. Detroit 7-7 coming on strong here. Green Bay 6-8. Who would have thunk that, right? Last 3 NFC title games in a row that they've played in. Chicago
overrated.
Chicago 3-11, which we enjoy very much so. Thank you for trading for Chase Claypool. And then you've got the NFC South, where Tampa Bay is leading this division with the 6-8 record. 3 teams are 5-9 between the Panthers, Saints, and Falcons. And then to end all of this, somehow the San Francisco 49ers have crawled to 10-4 and have clinched the division in their playoff spot. Seattle is 7-7, which nobody would have thought of. And the Cardinals and defending Super Bowl champion LA Rams are 4-10. But you've got a lot of teams that are sitting here in like the 6-8, 7-7 type 8-6. And there's how are these going to all end up? Everybody going to be 500 going into the playoffs, aside from like 3 teams
crazy.
In each division?
It's going to be crazy.
Conference?
And it's going to be even crazier trying to figure out who drafts.
Yeah.
Based on these records. It's nuts. I guess this is parody. Is that what this is? Is this parody? Or is this just a bunch of bad football?
Or is it a parody?
A parody of the NFL? Is this the beginning of the end?
It could be. It's a paradox.
I don't know. Speaking of paradox, here you go. You were in the garden.
The snow paradox. Oh no, that's the snowpocalypse. Never mind. This is the riddle. This is the riddle.
You were in the garden. There are 34 people in the yard, and you kill 30 of them. Why? I don't know. It's not important for this riddle.
Browns fans.
You were in the yard, you were in the garden. There were 34 people in the garden. You killed 30 of the people in the garden.
Oh, wait, there were 34 people in the yard.
Oh, wait, okay. I've read it wrong. Okay. You were in the garden. Joe Kuzma. You were in the garden. There were 34 people in your front yard. You got annoyed. Yes. You said, you rambunctious people in my yard. I'm coming out there. And
one of them said Houday. That was it.
Well, apparently 30 of them said Houday because you killed 30 of them.
You innocent bystanders.
All right. So you killed 30 of the 34 people in the yard. How many people are in the garden?
Yeah. And I gave you my answer, which was just me.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Oh,
you're wrong.
Depends if the garden's in the yard, I guess.
No, because it's clearly delineated. It's a garden and a yard.
And there were 34.
And there were 34, and you killed 30 of them. All those people were in the yard, but how many people are in the garden?
Okay, we're going to leave that one for the comments section. It'll be interesting to see if people respond to that one. We're up against it. Thank you for listening. This is, Festivus. We're 2 days out to Christmas Day. We've got the game tomorrow. I know a lot of yins are going to be busy. Maybe this is background noise for you while you're still wrapping some gifts or doing some errands if you're even capable of leaving your domicile. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so we appreciate you supporting the program, watching or listening wherever you may be. Have a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. And
or festive Festivus, or a celebratory Kwanzaa,
or even a bodacious Boxing Day, because that would be right after.
I don't know.
We got people listening in Canada. The demographics show.
I don't know what that is.
And they could even get the free shipping and everything worldwide.
Worldwide free shipping.
Our guy Peter down in Australia got it. So
make your balls nice and look like Joe's head.
Nothing. Actually, and I've been wearing this hat, and I'd have to do it off the side. I've not shaved the head here all week. It's almost grown out as much as the beard because I need something there to insulate me. You've got it going too. If I'm there Saturday night, I gotta have a little bit extra there. I'm not gonna be some dumbass that goes out and shaves my head, shorn it, just like, the manly bits parts, and make it as smooth as a baby's behind. That's not going to happen. I need that little extra, even if it affords me an extra degree or two of warmth.
That's fair.
There's not that much down the middle, but on the sides, I got a little bit there. I'm looking like, some past presidential portraits or some things like that. Wild West, whatever.
I've been waiting all day to brag about this, so I'm going to brag about it now here at the end of the show. So you can tell I don't have the mohawk right now.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel this morning I earned the mohawk back.
Okay.
So, I'm old. I have a bad shoulder. I got a bad knee. I'm old. But I go to my gym and it's been many, many years since I felt like I was benching a lot, but I did 305, not once.
Ooh.
Not once, but twice this morning.
Ooh, 2 big reps. I hope you had a spotter, man. Don't hurt yourself right before doing all this.
Got a spotter?
You're on the cage? You got the cage? At least got the cage there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got to have the cage at least. You're going to end up like Beavis and Butthead where he's like, get it off me. And then Butthead couldn't lift it off at the same time he's trying to push.
Yeah. Been probably 15 years probably at least since I could do 3 plates on each side.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I gotta be honest. I'm not even sure I've done. I'm sure I have.
Earned the mohawk back. Earned it back.
I don't want to sound like trying to compete or something like that. At some point, I know I have, but I was never a guy that was like, oh, I got to do 300 or whatever, because I was either like a low rep heavyweight or high rep low weight, and it didn't really matter. It was just a matter of muscle confusion whenever I was doing.
That's the reason right there. Yeah. See, this is the only reason. Because I feel dumb for doing it because I'm old and I should not have been doing it.
With the shoulder. Yeah.
But I read this article the other day, and it's not something I didn't know, but I read it and it was like, no, don't do the high rep low weight thing. Do the low rep heavyweight thing. And I was like, I haven't done that in a while. Let me do a little bit of low rep, heavy and see how I feel. And so, I started out, I did like 8 reps at like 245, and I was like, that feels pretty good. I don't have, and so I did, I did my sets, and I'm like, do I got 2 in me? Well, honestly, I didn't think I did. I was like, do I even have 1 in me? One in me to hit 300. And of course you can't, unless I'm going to really play with the plates, I can't just hit 300.
Yeah. So, I know.
I get it to 305, it's which is really, it's like 5 pounds less than 3 plates on each side, right?
Yeah.
It's 2 5s on each side that otherwise you'd be at 3 plates. But I'm like, can I do it? Can I do it? And I did it. And then I was like, I think I got another one in me. And I did another one. I was like, all right, I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 plates. If it's an Olympic bar, that's 45 pounds. You might have been at 315, dude.
I would have been at 315 if I had 3 plates. That's what I said.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you.
Didn't do 3 plates. But I feel like 2 at 305 means I could have done 1 at 315.
I never. I was probably around that, and I could say that just because of my frame. I'm probably 250-ish. And, you do probably your body weight. If you're, working out like anything, you should be able to do your body weight. I'll probably hit that at some point. But yeah, a 12-week program that was probably like a couple weeks, like 6 reps, a couple weeks, 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps. So you're negotiating the weight, and it's either very heavy on the lower end or very light on the other end, where, you're just doing like, 245 plates in the bar when you're doing like 12 reps or whatever. And then it also depends on your incline on the bench and everything like that. So Yeah, always. And of course, if you're doing it by yourself, I never wanted to go too heavy and be in the Beavis and Butthead type situation where it's like on your neck. So, but yeah, I've been a part of chains on there. Back when I was really doing the heavy training, the resistance bands and everything like that. So don't hurt yourself, man. I hurt my shoulder once and then went out then did very dumb
It's too late.
stuff just like that. Yeah, it's too late now.
Too late.
We're
The
men.
shoulder's
We're
messed
men.
up.
We gotta do it.
I'm hurt. I've been hurt.
I would take advantage of that during the feats of strength. So, folks.
No, see, look, I can do 305. You ain't feats of strength than me.
Yes. Had to be another way, Brian. Had to be another way. Hopefully that picks up on a new holiday. A Festivus for the rest of us. Folks, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That will do it for us. Happy holidays. My name's Joe Kuzma. His name's Brian E. Roach. And until next time, we encourage everyone out there to be safe, be good, and we'll catch you later.
Even the 2%ers aren't here.
We would like to thank you for listening and remind our listeners to follow us on social media and our website, www.steelcityunderground.com.